How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Evergreener. I believe I said that correct. If not, Matt is definitely going to roast me 100%, and I would expect nothing less from your commenters. You know, like if you comment, I don't think I did mess it up. So Matt's going to be the true test, but obviously I said his name and he can say what he does in the band.
It's funny because you got to say it with the Australian accent, the Evergreener.
Evergreener. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've picked up a little bit of Australian, but not very
no,
good.
it sounds good in American. It sounds more formal, I would say. But yeah, my name's Matt, and I sing and play guitar in Evergreener.
All right. Well, Matt, thank you for joining me. I told Matt off camera, I was like, I got an email because whenever I get interviews, I always get like an email notification. I was like, Matt, I've never heard of Evergreener. I was like, what's going on? Am I gonna get punked? You know, like what's going on? But I had the opportunity to check out their material, and I was like, bro, this band's really sick, and it just made me more stoked to have you on. So I appreciate you taking the time, Matt, enjoying your morning cup of coffee and hanging out. So definitely cool. But I wanted to know, because I don't really know too much in terms of the band history, which I am just a massive nerd about music history and stuff. So how did Evergreener start out? How did you guys kind of form? How did you get your members? Spare no expense. Tell me all the stuff about the band.
Sure. Well, firstly, thank you for having me, and thank you for the kind words about the band. I really appreciate it. But with the band, me and the drummer Jason, we've been mates since like elementary school for you guys. So it's like grade one. So a long time ago. I think that's like probably like 12 years now. So we've been mates for a long time. And one day, just before we started high school, we were like, let's start a band. We were originally playing sort of like metal songs, so like
Wow.
old school Megadeth, like Bullet for My Valentine, metalcore sort of stuff. And so we were doing that, and then that band disbanded, and then we were like, oh, let's go down like the whole pop punk route.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Jason jumped on bass, and I still stayed on guitar and singing, and we had a drummer, and then that disbanded. And then we like my other mate Corey, who's the other guitarist, we were talking about, oh, we should start another band, because we were listening to bands like Title Fight and Such Gold, and even just bands like Blink-182 and like all those sort of like pop punk bands, but that were like transitioning into like that melodic hardcore thing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Title.
yeah.
And we were like, yeah, it'd be really cool to start a band and start doing that. So we had a band called Stand Tall, which is a terrible name. Like, it's so bad. I don't know. Every time I hear it, I just cringe inside. But so we started that band, and that was going on for a long time, up until the COVID sort of restrictions in
Hmm.
Australia. And we just sort of decided, like, look, this band's sort of like going nowhere. Let's try start something else, and let's try like rebrand ourselves.
Sure.
So started Evergreener in 2020, and we were actually in the studio while we decided that, and we were recording like our first EP, Afterthoughts, and we're just like, yeah, let's do this right. Let's make sure we get everything down. Let's make sure we obviously like go to shows, play heaps of shows, make
Sure.
sure
Yeah.
we branch this out as far as we can, because like we all love playing live and we all love playing together. We got like really good chemistry, and that's when we were working with our bass player Dale, and he was sort of like, we knew he played bass, and we were looking for a bass player conveniently, and he was there. And we're
He
like,
was
dude,
just
do you want
happened to
to?
be there. Yeah.
Like, he joined, and yeah, that's pretty much like the story in a nutshell. Like, it's been good ever since. Like, yeah, now we're in like our third year of Evergreener, and things have been going pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I think I feel like I've kind of found in like a diamond in the rough, because again, as I mentioned before, went through your entire like musical catalog and was able to see like the first song that they released, which was Deciduous. It was also on, I believe it was either. I think it was Space Untraveled. Not, I was gonna say Dreambound because I know Dreambound also does a similar thing. Either way, go check out both of those YouTube channels. They're great. Um, but I remember seeing that name come up on my, like, because I follow both of them, and I was like, I should check this out. And then for some reason, I never got around to actually doing it. So the music like thumbnail looked familiar, and I was like, I feel like I may have listened to this one just by sheer coincidence. And I was going through kind of like the catalog, and I was like, oh no, I've definitely heard this song before. I don't know how I did not like recollect it by any means, but going back and listening to it was great. Um, but I kind of went through like the newest stuff you released. You released a new song about 2 weeks ago, Incandescent. I'll leave a link in the description. Go give it a listen. It's so sick. So I wanted to share that with everybody. Um, but it was cool to see kind of the newest stuff and then going back and listening to the old stuff. I think there's a cool shift that you guys take musically that I was really stoked on. And the newest song I think is a great representation. I feel like the common trope of bands is like, our new song's the best song, but I do think that this new song is their best material, no joke, no cap, I think it was very sick. And definitely brought like a lot of things that I personally am missing within like that kind of like pop punk like alternative side of music, where it's like a little bit closer to like melodic hardcore, like a little bit heavier, a little bit more like screams, stuff like that. I think you guys ride that nice fine line between like heavier pop punk music. And so I absolutely love that because I don't think there's a lot of bands really in that space right now. So it's good to know that I can add another great band to that playlist of things that I already enjoy. Um, but I think I had a question for you in regards to the shift from like more of the like title fight, like melodic hardcore stuff, and like kind of shifting musicality. Did you often find, because like I feel like this stuff has a little bit of pop punk in it as well? Did you find that you're like, okay, we love pop punk, but we love like heavier shit? How are we gonna find like that midpoint between the two to be like, okay, like we want to hit everything we love, everything we enjoy? Was that kind of a harder process to find out in going with, or did it kind of come a little bit more naturally?
I think it probably came just naturally, like
Mhm.
over the course, obviously recording all of our material. Actually, it's funny because Deciduous, Torn, and Sinking, those three songs that are obviously Deciduous is a standalone single, but Torn and Sinking on the Afterthoughts EP, those three songs are actually Stand Tall songs. So
Oh,
we were just like, those are probably our strongest ones, and we really wanted to record those. So we're just like, you know what, let's just do those. And then the other two, Death Waves and No One Knows, came afterwards when we rebranded as Evergreener. So like you could sort of see like there was a bit of a shift in those two songs from the previous ones,
I agree.
um, in terms of like musicality and like maturity as well. We became better songwriters and all that stuff. So then eventually when we released like Everything in Between and Incandescent, like I feel, because I wrote both of those songs, I was listening to a lot of bands like still like Title Fight and Such Gold, but I discovered like Turnstile in 2019, I think it
Ooh,
was.
okay, yeah.
Like Glow On, and like I love that band. I've got a tattoo of their logo, so
Oh,
like
sick. You gotta love them now, yeah.
part of me. But like Turnstile, even bands like Narrowhead and Super Heaven, like those sort of grungier bands started coming into our music, and we always like loved Super Heaven, but like especially Narrowhead for me and Loathe, those two
Oh,
bands, started listening to them a lot. And even though like some of our music is, oh, it's quite poppy, like I'm not gonna lie, there are like hooks and in them, um incorporating that like sort of heavier side to it with like the screaming and with some of the sections within our music like came from listening to those bands. And yeah, it was like it just felt natural to sort of start doing that because I love those bands and I love mixing things and I
sure.
love trying to like the typical stereotype of like pop punk, for example.
Yeah, no, I feel like you kind of harken, at least in terms of the bands that I kind of related you guys to. I think Rarity, you kind of have like that sort of sound where, again, they kind of have a little bit of a pop punk feel, but also really love like post hardcore, melodic hardcore, stuff like that. And they kind of find that middle ground. Another great kind of fringe band like that, like Pacific, I would also say you guys remind me a lot of them, which is another really fantastic band. If you haven't checked out either of those two, definitely go show them some love. And then I would say like older like Knuckle Puck, like first like album or two, like it definitely gave me that sort of a vibe. Not obviously more of the current stuff because they've kind of gone a little bit more in that like alt kind of like indie pop punk sort of stuff, which is great. I love the transition. But I think there's just like cool things that you can get out of this type of material. Even like maybe like older Trash Boat too. Like I think you guys definitely pull from that sort of like lane of thinking in terms of writing. Obviously not exactly the same, but I do find that there's a lot of kind of like mixed things that like if you like those bands that I mentioned, there's a very good chance you're gonna like Evergreener 100%. I would bet my life on it. So go prove me wrong, I guess. But it was really cool, and I think out of the four songs I listened to were Incandescent, Everything in Between, Death Waves, and Deciduous. Um, I really like the like latter of the two. I think Incandescent, Everything in Between was like I could definitely tell as you mentioned there's a shift like musically. But I even think there's a pretty big shift between like Death Waves and Everything in Between, and even from Everything in Between to Incandescent. Like there's this really interesting process that you guys kind of go through that I feel like musically you get like a little bit darker, which I'm totally about because I feel like a lot of bands are like, especially within pop punk, they're like, gotta talk about my hometown. I gotta talk about pizza. I gotta talk whatever, throw in the whatever adjectives or town
It's a
things. Pizza. You hate your family, whatever. I don't know, some shit like that. But I feel like with your music, it really kind of like had this really dark sort of aura to it, but also at the same point, I think it's really relatable. And I felt like a lot of connection to the songs, even though they were kind of like my first initial impressions of the song. Um, so I definitely like that, and it makes me more excited to be subscribed to your YouTube channel, so I know when a next song comes out, so I can check it out. But as well as that, I think it just makes me excited to see what you guys are going to be doing next because I just kind of really enjoyed the process of going through and listening to your catalog of like YouTube videos because um, it always shows me how much of a process, even within kind of like, I'd argue, a 3 year span of going through musical changes. Like, I think it was really cool to see how different, how like adaptive you guys have been over the years. And I think that's a really at least a high quality for me in bands that are like, okay, we love these things. How are we going to incorporate it? How are we going to adapt? And I think you guys do a great job of kind of finding that midpoint of like, we love these styles of music and like newer artists that we find, like, how are we going to incorporate it into Evergreener sound? So I think you guys do a great job of that.
thank
Do
you.
you have a song that you would recommend to a new listener to check out first to kind of give them a better idea of what you guys sound like?
I would say like my personal favorite song is No One Knows. I love that
Oh,
song.
okay.
I don't know. There's something about it. Like I remember when we recorded it, we got like the rough mix down straight away on the way home, and Corey and I went up at the same time. We're actually going again on Monday to record the new stuff. So
Oh,
that guy. But yeah. So we got that on the way back, and we were just. It took us like 2 hours to get home. We were just listening to that song. We were just like, this is like insane how it's come nothing to this. So I would say personally, that song probably represents a mixture of like the I wouldn't say like heavier subject matter, but more of the
hmm
more personal subject matter with sort of like a pop punk song, and it's like a good transition from that song because it's last on the EP to everything in between. So it gets into that heavier subject matter later anyway. So
hmm
I would probably off their EP.
Oh, okay. And then obviously we kind of did delve into like the heavier topics. Like, was that something you guys all kind of collectively wanted to do? Because I don't know if in maybe previous projects, I don't. I mean, I imagine like being kind of from more of a heavier background. I'd argue a lot of bands really kind of, talk about heavier things. Did you find that that was just kind of like the natural progression of like what you guys wanted to write about, or did you guys kind of have more like campfire thoughts of like, I don't know, maybe we should write about something else, or like maybe we should try to do something different, or did it just kind of be like we got into a room, wrote the song, and you're like, okay, I think we should keep on with, maybe what we've done in the past.
Yeah, I think with the way that we write songs, it's typically like we write the music together, but I will typically write the lyrics on my own,
Mhm.
like whatever comes to mind, like in the situation that I'm in. So, for example, like No One Knows was about it, my like ex partner, us like fighting together and like trying to make amends of what was happening. So, what I like to do with my music, my songwriting actually is like I'll write about something that might be heavy subject matter, but I always try to make it positive at the end.
Sure. Yeah.
Experience that people might be going through, but like this is how I got through it. So Incandescent is like the whole song is basically about like change and bettering yourself. So getting to that point where you can actually say like, I'm doing great, I'm shining, no pun intended. But yeah, so it's like even in everything in between, like that whole song was about my ex-partner and like figuring out about like how toxic it was. And towards the end of it, like I say, like, as I sever the tie to live a happier life, like I know that I'm better from this and from breaking things off. So I like to, yeah, try to make sure it's as positive as it can be, because I know that, like, for me personally, I don't like to dwell on the negative so
Sure.
much, even though like I write about some pretty like negative things. But yeah, so like it's sort of like I just take it to the band and they're like, yeah, it's cool. But if we feel like it needs to be changed, like we'll change it
Yeah.
altogether.
I think you guys find, obviously more specifically you, Matt, like I do find that you ride this interesting line of like, again, speaking honestly about like topics, but I don't feel like it's so on the nose that it's like, okay, like, wow, this is really direct. I think that you got kind of find a unique way of framing it where I think people can find it relatable. I know I definitely kind of felt a lot about Incandescent, and you definitely kind of enforced my opinion on what I felt like the song was about. Um, and so, kind of experiencing a similar situation in my life, like I can kind of relate to Incandescent a lot, just for the sheer nature of like the material and. I kind of that's probably a large reason why I like talking to artists like this is just because I know, at least for me, relatability wise, like a lot of this stuff is going to relate to how I feel or how I interact with other people. And so it's nice to know that, again, the genre and the people as a whole kind of right from the heart. It's direct, but I don't think it's like so direct that it's like basically staring you in the face. I feel like it's direct enough. It's like a good friend that tells you good advice and you don't want to hear it, but like they're right. So that's kind of how I relate a lot of like heavier music or people that write in that sort of way is like it's like a gentle nudge, in the right direction, I'd argue.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's like it's interesting because like a lot of songwriters either take that very direct approach or the very like metaphorical approach. I try to like put them together and just be like, look, this is what's happening, but still keeping that sort of like aura about like this is what I've done. So like if you
Sure.
relate to it, then that's cool. So
And that's great. Obviously I live in the States. I do not live in Australia, but if you have a chance, I'm sure if you go see Evergreener live, go say what's up to Matt, tell him I sent you, all the way from America here. So that'd be really cool. And then I'd feel accomplished as an individual that I have sent an Australian to talk to another Australian about their music. So go do it. That'd be really cool. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is what was the first instance or thing that you maybe had saw online where you saw a musician and you were like, that seems really cool. I would love to do it. Who was kind of like the first artist or group that you saw that you were just like, I would love to pick up a guitar. I'd love to start singing. Like, do you have any that comes to mind?
for sure. I think my two bands, like when I was a kid, especially was my first one was Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, all right.
So I've actually still got the cassette tape of Appetite for Destruction. So that was like that's a big nostalgia like memory for me. My parents were super cool. Like they were into like Motley Crue, and like my dad was into like old Green Day and all that stuff. So
Oh, sick.
Green Day, like getting the Dookie CD, like I listened to that non-stop. And that was like, I want to be a guitarist. I want to be like, maybe not a singer, but like I want to be a guitarist in a band after hearing that. And then eventually like Metallica came in, and like when I was in grade 7, I was just obsessed with Metallica.
Oh yeah.
That's the first songs that I learned how to play were like One and Fade to Black and things like that. But not good at all. Like, I played, but like those are the first songs I like attempted to learn. So I'd say those 3 bands were like the 3 catalysts of me being a musician.
Those are 3 great examples, so I absolutely love that. There was another band that I had in my list, especially I would say more with like Deciduous and like Death Wave. You kind of gave me a little bit of like Foo Fighter energy, you know, like, and I love that. That to me, like, it felt like, you know, a little Dave Grohl sprinkle. You know, there's just a little Dave Grohl essence in that, and I was like, I am so about this. Like, I don't know if he's ever had that said about his music, but I think that I love that. Anytime I can try to find some bands that have just like that little bit of like just straight like rock sound, just even a smidge, like it's great. So I feel like that's one band I didn't want to leave out in terms of my mentions on this video, because I feel like I beat myself up if I didn't talk about it. So I think you got a little bit of Foo Fighters in you, certainly.
Love that. I love that. It's so funny though, because like we recently did a slow and reverb version of Deciduous.
Uh huh.
When we did that, I was like, oh my God, this song sounds like Everlong. Did that rip off the song?
Not intentionally, guys. Don't send them to court. That's all I'm saying. It's not intentional. It just happened to be irony if it is slowed and reverbed, you know.
I mean, not intentional, yeah,
Totally
totally.
not intentional. Definitely not, you know. If Foo Fighter legal counsel wants to come after Matt, I'm going to be
Please
very
don't.
upset. Don't do that. That wouldn't be cool. I wouldn't be about it. But more currently, Matt, who is kind of like your influences? Who do you take from now? Who are some artists that like really influenced your sound currently?
I'd say for me personally, like writing songs, I couldn't probably speak on behalf of like the other 3
Sure, sure,
members.
sure.
For me personally, I'd say like Deftones are really like,
Ooh, okay.
as well as Narrowhead. So their most recent. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to mention Teenage Wrist.
Oh,
So they're a massive band who like we love to listen to, and like the other band that's sort of like split off from them, their bassist Heavenward. So yeah, they're really really cool bands that like we're really enjoying right now.
that's funny. I A just reviewed their new album, and B, that was not even a lie. I had that on my for fans of, and I took it off last minute. I'm not no cap. Like I feel like no one's gonna believe me because most people don't believe me. But I did have that on there, and I was like, should I keep it on there? I was like, and then I went back and listened to like Death Waves and Deciduous, and I was like, I don't know. So then I like backspaced and took it out. But man, yeah, that great band. Salutes. I just
Yeah,
found out about them more currently with their new album. So now I'm going to be doing a similar thing to your music and going back in time and listening to some of the old stuff. But I have been getting a lot of recommendations to check out Heavenward as well too. So I'm gonna be doing it all. So
if you
tune in.
like Chrome Neon Jesus, Heavenward is like that, and we love Chrome Neon Jesus, that album, like their first album that they released. Like we're all about that stuff.
It does seem like that. Like I said, I did get a little Teenage Wrist in there, and I was like, this is very appropriate for the time span that I'm in right now. So like, Matt, you couldn't have came at a more perfect time, at least me musically, in the spot. You know,
Gee.
it was meant to be. Exactly. I love that. The next question I have for you, Matt, which is a more fun or current question, like what are you jamming right now? What's some of the music or artists that you're spinning right now?
Right now, actually, let me see if I can find my Spotify. My recent, it's probably going to be a bit embarrassing to be honest.
That's all right.
So funnily enough, I'm actually listening to Luke Combs a lot. Yeah, a bit
Wow.
different. Um, and then my own song, which is a bit sad, but
Hell yeah. Go check it out. Evergreener in the description,
yeah.
baby. Let's do it.
Then after that, it's Deftones, so Digital Bath from Deftones. Then Trebination by Narrowhead, and then Canned Heat by Turnstile. So I've got a bit of a
Oh,
Eddie, and then like after that, it's like a bunch of other like weird songs. So like synthwave, I love synthwave. I'm all about that
oh.
stuff.
Okay, okay. I'm about it.
And 83, like yeah, I love that stuff. It's such an interesting like change.
Yeah, I'm really into, and I don't think a lot of people knew this, but I love the Midnight. I feel like that group is so sick. Midnight, if you're watching this, I would love to have you on the show. I'm just saying, and also do a song with Evergreener. That'd be really sick. Like maybe a remix. I don't know. Just saying, that'd be kind of sick. I'd be about it. And that's just one person. So just imagine like maybe like more people. That'd be really
I,
cool.
I think if you so our engineer he does music that's really really similar to the Midnight, like the whole synthwave thing. So his name's Delos. If you want to ever check him out, say
Oh,
LOS. It's amazing stuff. Like it's just all instrumental stuff, but it sounds so similar to the Midnight. It's great. It's really really cool stuff.
Delos, come on the show. I'd love to have you. Hit the DMs. I'd love to have you on the show. Um, yeah, wow, you got quite the mix. The Luke Combs definitely threw me by surprise.
Yeah,
It's weird because I'll make one comment about Australia. It's weird because like I feel like some Australian bands I've had on, they're like, yeah, I like listening to country music, and I was just like, how? Like, why would you listen to Luke Combs? Like, and they're like, oh, well, I live out in the country in Australia, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. I guess
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a similar thought process, way of life, whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe I have to get like indoctrinated into like country music, but I don't know. I personally, it just doesn't jive with me. If you can find me, I've been making this statement in all of my videos. If you can find me a good country song to listen to that like is vetted and you think I would enjoy, DM me or drop it in the comments because I will give it a listen at the very least and say if it's thumbs up or thumbs down. So definitely let me know. But yeah, I don't know. Luke Combs, is there a Luke Combs songs that I should listen to first, Matt, since you're a Luke Combs fan?
It's tough. Like I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the songs sound the same. It's just country music. But it's for me, it's like it has to be the vibe around me that I'm enjoying.
Okay.
So for example, like me and my family will go up to like a lake and we'll have like a barbecue or something like that, and that's like when that music comes,
Okay.
like that whole, I don't know, being around your friends, having a beer kind of thing. So I'd probably say the song "Refrigerator Door" is like so typical, right? But yeah, I mean, I just enjoy it. It's like easy listening to music, and it's a nice separation from the other music that I listen to. So like the heavier stuff. So it's nice to be able to be like, if I need something easy to listen to, I'll just listen to that. But if I'm at the gym, I'll listen to like Pantera or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, okay. Respect. I got you. I got you. It would be weird if you did listen to Luke Combs while like lifting some weights. I mean, I'm sure people do it, but
I don't know how they do, to be honest. I
I
need
don't.
something.
Yeah, you got to have the energy. I feel like I hear people like playing like, or I'll hear like club music, and I'm like, okay, I can get that. Like, if you got like a good beat going, like I get it. Respect. But I'll hear like a country song come on at a gym I go to locally. I'm just like, how do you like? Luckily, I'm wearing headphones, but like. I don't know how that would pump me up at all. I would just want to just kick back and hang out with my friends if that was like really what I wanted to do. But I'd put on other music other than Luke Combs. But I'm gonna give it a try, and I'll DM Matt, and I will say if it's a thumbs up or a thumbs down for me. So you
Okay.
guys can keep trying. I appreciate you if you do try. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is if you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Ooh, this is tough because we're actually playing a show tonight, and we've got a cover that we're
Oh,
playing. Yeah, so usually, I mean, we try to change it up every show that we play just to keep it interesting. So this show that we're playing Covered in Chrome by Violent Soho,
Oh, wow. All
which
right.
is they're quite a big influence on us. Like when they started breaking out of the scene, that's when we started our band, Stand Tall at least. So we were like, yeah, we love this band, and everyone was comparing us to Violent Soho actually from that band. So we're playing that, and it's just for a bit of fun. But we played Blackout by Turnstile before, and that was like really, really good energy in the room because, yeah, Turnstile's just blown up out of nowhere, and I love it. But yeah, I don't know. Even something like My Own Summer by Deftones would be really,
Ooh.
yeah. I'd say though, around that sort of like vibe would be really, really cool.
I feel like you did mention Loathe earlier. I think you could do like Two-Way Mirror. I feel like that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, or even like a sad cartoon, or like I
Sad
want to
cartoon's
do
good.
I want to do something like Gord, but it's, yeah.
You're really asking a lot from your drummer. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. That's that. I listen to that song and I get stressed out, and I'm not even a drummer. Like I play guitar, but like as a drummer, I would be so stressed if I had to learn. Like if all of my bandmates came in and they're like, "All right, guys, so we're gonna do a cover song," and the cover song we agreed on, Gourd by Loathe, and then the drummer would just be like white, just completely just like shit face. Like there's no way I could do this. So shout out to all the drummers who can do that song because God bless that shit's not easy,
Yeah.
not easy. But yeah, I would say My Own Summer is also a great choice as well too. So I don't know. I would say if I had to throw my hat in the ring, I think Loathe Two-Way Mirror would be my choice if I had to pick. You know.
Good shout, to be honest. Yeah, it's a great song.
Well, guys, listen, if you have a suggestion for Evergreener, definitely drop it in the comment section below. I can't guarantee if Matt will and the band will do it, but at least you've made your mark. And on top of that, listen, it's there on the internet, so if if there's anything for them to hold a bar to, then it's this video. So I'm just saying,
For sure.
just be careful. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is what is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, it's so funny because you mentioned it before. It's pizza.
No, it's not. Oh my god.
Is I can't help it. I used to be a pizza chef, so like I'm so used to eating pizza, and I love making homemade pizza. But
Woo.
it's like our tradition as a band. Whenever we go up to record, we go to the local pizza shop and get pizza there.
What's
It's so
what's your ultimate pizza slice? What do you put on your pizza slice? Because I feel like I have to ask.
yeah. I think you can't go wrong with a good cheese pizza.
Just
It's
nothing,
just
plain. Just like okay.
I don't mind like going venturing out of the box, like a nice vegetarian, or like what we do over here is like we have something called peri peri chicken,
Yes, I'm
which
familiar. Yeah.
yeah, so like that's a good shout. We love that over here, but yeah, I don't know. It's always changing for me, but I can always stick with a good margarita pizza. I love it.
Okay. Respect. You seem like a classic type of man. That's what I have to. This is what I'm getting. The vibe I'm getting. So, I respect that. I would go with that choice. I don't know. I feel like I also have to ask if you are a pineapple on pizza person. You think that's
See,
a Do you think that's a nah? That's a no?
I've never tried it, so I can't throw my hat in the
Oh,
in the.
wow. Okay. But you're not against it though, is what you,
No, I think personally, like I love fruit, so I'll eat everything. To be honest, there is nothing. I just love food in general. I'm grateful for all the food that I have, but yeah, I don't think it's like a bad thing. I think whoever enjoys it, enjoy it. Go enjoy it. But I
I
probably
don't know. I feel like I get a lot of shit for saying I like pineapple on pizza, and to be fair, it's all warranted. I get it. It's fruit, but like
yeah,
tomatoes also a fruit, so I'm just saying it's just fruit on fruit. So with some cheese. But I
exactly.
feel like the game changer though, I'll give you the 411 guys is that you need to buy a pizza with pineapple on it, and instead of ham, because they put ham on pizza here in the States, You gotta put pepperoni on there. That's the game changer. I'm telling you. I think that's the fix. That's my pitch for pineapple
Yeah,
pizza.
that's actually a really good idea, to be honest. I'm gonna try that.
Oh, okay. I
Good.
may have converted Matt. We're gonna find out. But if you guys try that, I'm telling you, it works. I think it works because it's hot, it's spicy, it matches well with the pineapple. I'm getting really food nerdy right now, but it's okay.
We
And
love it.
pizza, I mean, pizza's already delicious, but then when you like max out its potential, I'm just telling you, it's a game changer. I'm putting that out there. People will call me crazy, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I'll die on that rock, okay, baby? So
For sure. I'm gonna
let's
try.
go. The next question I have for you, Matt, is if you could have a dream collaboration on an up and coming Evergreener track, who would you love to have on? I'm gonna split the question up just a smidge more. One that is more realistic, something that you feel like if you just DM'd a homie or like somebody you know, and they would be like, "I'd love to be on a track. I can't believe you didn't ask me before this." Like that's the first option, and then the second choice, that you can also include would be like one that we're manifesting, we're putting it out there on the internet for everybody here for the first time.
Mm. This is a tough one. I think the manifesting one would be tough, but the one like our mates, there's a band called Bellhaven that we played with before.
Oh,
And yeah, and they're really like I'm really good friends with the singer David, because he gives me vocal lessons actually, and he's a great singer. So I'd love to collab with Bellhaven. That'd be really cool. And because they're in the same scene as us, like really really good band, a band that we definitely look up to. So that'd be like sort of like a really cool goal to meet one day. But I think moving on from that and into the bigger sort of sphere, I think personally, there are so many bands. I can't even think. Like, there's so many bands rushing to my head right now. Like, I want to say Metallica, but then I'm like, if it was Metallica in 1989, yes, 100%. Now, probably not. But then I'm like, oh, what about Green Day or Blink-182? I'm like, yeah, early 2000s Green Day or Blink-182, yes, but maybe not now. Maybe out of the box. I'd probably say something that's out of the box would probably be like Eminem.
Ooh, okay.
That'd be really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, just because like he's such a great lyricist. Like, it would be so cool to like give him like, here's our song. What can you put in there? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's wow. That very much like the Luke Combs things from earlier. This is a very out of the box pick, but I'm all about it.
I love.
Also, big shout outs to Dave from Bellhaven. He is a alumni of the channel. So, Dave, listen, this is my call out to you. I'm gonna get up nice and close into the camera. Dave, come on, man. What are we doing? Help my man Matt out. Let's go. I need this to happen. I can actually make this happen. So do it, Dave. I'm telling you.
I'll let him know tomorrow.
I'm
With you.
telling you. I'm telling you. If I don't see it, Dave, I'm gonna be very upset. I I don't normally get upset, but I feel like I would. We're so close. It's like we're all Matt, myself, and you are all friends. Like I can do it. This can happen. So Dave, I'm telling you. I don't know Eminem. I'm sorry, Matt. I don't know Eminem. If I did, I would also give him a shout, but I don't. So,
I mean, I'll my best to get to him one day.
well, we're gonna do the next best thing. So, guys, this is the time where you take your phone out and you tag Evergreener AU on Instagram, and then you also tag Dave from Bellhaven because, again, we're gonna out him. We're gonna out him again. So do that, and then also tag Eminem, and then type in the word collab ? And again, I've been on the internet for a very long time, so I can say this with pretty high surety that, if it's online, there's a good chance it's real. So, I'm just saying, if you want to make a dream a reality, like, I'm going to do it. So, you should do it.
We love the support.
Listen, Eminem, I know, is a fan of the show, so come on, Eminem. I got you, Matt. The next question I have for you is my personal favorite. Much like most things in my life, I'm a nerd, so I love asking this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be, Matt?
Oh, this is so tough. It's got to be Master Chief from Halo.
Ooh, okay.
It's got to be. That's like me and Corey actually finished playing the Halo campaigns like recently, again for like the 50 billionth time because we love it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. It's got to be him. He's just so cool.
I mean, yeah. There's no other way to describe Master Chief. I feel like if anyone has never played a Halo game, you definitely need to go play a Halo game. Those are like a timeless Xbox game, I'd argue, So go check out Halo if you haven't. I'm waiting for the Evergreener like Halo like inspired merch design next. That's, in my heart and mind, like I feel like Matt would do it for me, I have a belief,
I've mine already going in my head right now.
All right. Well, if you do wind up doing it, I will personally buy it. So if no one else buys it, I will buy it because I love when bands kind of have that crossover of like band merch and video game stuff. That just tugs at my heartstrings. So I'm gonna buy anybody's band merch that has some sort of like video game reference to it. I just think that that's awesome. So great choice, Matt. I feel like that goes without saying. So definitely a good pick. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is another hard one. I keep throwing the hard balls at you here, but if you could compile a dream tour lineup, including Evergreener, who would be on this tour?
It's got to be, how many bands are we talking?
So, including yourself, I would say 4 other bands. We're going for a stacked lineup.
Okay, cool. I think relating at least to our music, I would choose Title Fight.
Ooh.
Teenage Wrist and Deftones. Those 4.
What a lineup. I love that. Guys, listen, again, much like the comment I made about like Instagram, and tagging, you should tag all 4 of those bands and also Evergreener and just say like, I would love this to be in Australia. And then I would book the next flight out to Australia so that I could, live in that moment. So I don't know what we have to do. Somebody.
Yeah. I think it's got to be like, we've got to be headlining because I mean, like, we're just so big at this point. We're just
popping off. Yeah.
Past the Deftones.
Listen, Turnstile found out about you guys and they were like, yo, check out this band Evergreener from Australia. Have you heard of them? No, you haven't. Oh man, you better get on the wave right now,
that happened, I'd probably like die of a heart attack. Like that'd be the coolest thing ever.
If that happened, I think I would also prematurely have a heart attack in your place because I feel like I would also feel like, wow, I said that out loud and somebody actually did it. That's insane. Yeah. Why do I have this much power? That's what I would have a lot of life questions about myself after that.
True manifestation.
Yeah.
We love it.
I feel like if if my brain gets to a higher power in manifestation, like if I say enough shit online that eventually something's going to pop off and I'm going to be correct. And then I'm just going to have like a big, like Jimmy Neutron, like brain blast moment. I'm going to be I'm going to be on such a high level of brain intellect. I'm not even going to know what to do. Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, guys, but don't worry. I'm going to, I try in every interview. So do it up.
Plenty of happen.
It's only been taking, a little over 7 years, but listen, we'll keep plugging it away, baby. So, eventually one day I'm going to say something and it's going to mean something. So be here for it. But the next question I have for you, Matt, is, I know you have seen a lot of shows in your time, but in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the artists you've seen?
Well, there's so many, like within our scene, especially, like there's so many bands that are so good. Like it's crazy. I think one band that I will always like probably go back to is Bellhaven. Like they're just their live show, their energy is so like when we played with them, like we just looked at each other and we were just like with our bandmates and we were just like, yeah, there's like such a you can see that they're like the next step up. Like they're just great. But again, like actually going to see live, like this is a bit like out there, but like Avenged Sevenfold was
Oh,
amazing. Yeah, they when they came down to support like Hail to the King, like that was probably one of the coolest shows that I've been to. I know everyone's like, oh, like Avenged Sevenfold's like you either love them or hate them, and I enjoy their music. I think they're great musicians, especially the most recent album. That's like a very like you either hate it or you love it. And I listened to it and I was like, it's probably going to take me some time to get used to, but some of the songs on here are just so interesting that I really enjoy it. I like the space that they've gone.
I would
But
agree with
yeah,
that. Yeah, I think I also listened to the newest album, and I would consider myself like on again, off again Avenged Sevenfold fan. I was very much into them when I was younger. Like City of Evil is such a fantastic record, and I go back and listen to that one, and I gotta tell you, it's aged like a fine wine. So I love that record still. Um, Even like Backcountry too is another one that I really listened to a lot more recently. But I did check out the new album, and I can tell why people might be a little bit divisive about it, just because I think it is a little bit out there. But I appreciate the fact that they like aren't compromising. Like I think that's kind of like the biggest thing that I've noticed with a lot of artists is that like your willingness to compromise on certain things. But like if you're just out there trying to do what you want to do or that you like to do and it seems like they enjoy the album that they put out, then hey, whatever, more power to you. You know, you're gonna find new fans and all that sort of stuff. So I highly recommend bands just branch out, do what you like. You know, obviously maybe first time around isn't going to be great, but you know, I think as long as you're continually like building yourself into the next direction, then eventually it's going to hit people. And, you know, just like Evergreener, who I didn't know about like maybe about an hour ago before this point. And now they're a sick band that I am definitely adding to my like Spotify playlist. I've already followed them on social media, and you can be like really cool and like awesome like me if you go to the links in the description and go give Evergreener a follow and some love and go follow them on social media. And then you can be cool and say, like, yeah, I knew about Evergreener when they had under 500 subscribers on YouTube, you
yeah,
know. So just saying, you could be a
yeah.
part of the cool club, and that'd be really neat. And then I would give you a gold star because that's awesome. But
Going,
love that. Next question, Matt. What is your favorite TV show, favorite movie?
oh, okay. Favorite TV show is The In-Betweeners.
Oh, okay.
In-Betweeners and The Simpsons. Like Simpsons season 3 to season 9 is like my childhood. I love it. It's like so good. But like The In-Betweeners, I love. I'll always go back to that show and watch it. Favorite movie? I'm such a nerd for this. Yeah, is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh,
Yeah, I love. I've read all the books. I've read The Hobbit. I've read The Silmarillion. I love it. It's so good.
is there any Lord of the Rings lyrical references in your music yet? I'm just curious.
Not yet, but there might be soon. It might be.
Oh, wow. All right. I didn't even expect that to be an answer. That's awesome. That's so sick. For all you Lord of the Ring heads, I got you. You know, I got you guys. That's sick. I like that. I hope I can pick it out. I'm gonna try next time. Next time the song comes out, I'm just gonna message Matt and be like, "Is this the Lord of the Rings song?" I'm gonna have to try to do my research and try to look for it.
We'll see. I'll make it really abstract and
Oh,
all that.
don't do that to me, man. I'm not a Lord of the Rings like fanboy. I obviously love the movies, great trilogy, but I'm I would hope that there is a better person to search out the Lord of the Rings lore within your music, you know?
I'll just write some lyrics in Elvish, and that's how
That
you
would be
know.
a pretty good giveaway, yeah.
Could not speak that. Like I'm definitely not that much of a diehard fan.
It would be wild though if you did do it live though. You're like singing like the Elvish live. I would be like, okay, like I gotta give him a lot of respect for doing that. Like even if like I particularly don't know an absolute like lick of anything Elvish, I at least can be like kudos, respect, you know? Not too many bands are doing that, you know? It's like a band that would like writing Klingon, you know? It's like there's no fucking way that's gonna happen. But I mean, hey, if you fucking do it, that would be
Yeah,
wild.
box. It's thinking outside the box musically.
Yeah, listen, I don't want any royalties. I just want to be like if somebody asks you where the lyrical stuff came from, then you can just reference my YouTube video. That's all I want. That'd be really cool.
There we go. Done.
Sick. Well, great choices. I did. I feel like the In-Betweeners is a great answer. Just because I think it's if my memory is serves me correct because I've had a lot of Australian bands on. That is an Australian show. Am I not correct on that?
No, it's actually a British show.
What? Oh no! Oh no! I outed myself. Fuck.
It's we got very very similar styles of humor, Australian and British. It's all that dark humor. I love that stuff.
Oh no. Well,
Yep.
it's in the video now. So, guys, it's been nice knowing you. This is officially my last interview. No kidding. I'm not gonna do that. But I mess up, guys. Okay, that's a fact. There's many times where I've messed up on this channel. So this is you can add that to the list where we can change the change the metaphorical number back to 0. 0 days without incident. Now it's zero. The next question I have for you, Matt, is if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
For me personally, Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Yeah, I love it. Ever since I heard that, there's not one song on there that I would skip. And a lot of people would say, "Oh, you'd skip Escape" or something like that. Even that song, I love that song. It's so good.
Is that your top tier Metallica album?
Yeah, it's very hard between like Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Like I love both of them, but like I don't know, there is something about Ride the Lightning that I think it's the guitar tone as a guitar nerd. Like tone that just like I love it. It's gives me like goosebumps. I'm just like, I love it every time I hear it.
Yeah, that's like every drummer that hates Saint Anger, you know, for its terrible drum sound. I don't know why. Listen, it could only have. I just want to say it could only happen in that time period, and for a band to still like correct itself after. You know, the internet did not exist. We weren't able to meme on bands. Now I feel like if you did that now, like if Metallica put out "Sing Anger" in 2023, they would get memed the fuck out. There's no
Big time.
way. They would
It's
have to
funny
go
that
and like remix it and like like shit. They would have to go to a different producer.
be like a reissue of the album.
They're like they have to put a statement out. They're like, "Hey guys, sorry we put out this really dog shit record. We did try to fix it, so we went to this producer now, and now it sounds less like a trash can." Okay, cool. You know, I feel like there would be a lot more like controversy behind it. You know.
For sure.
Maybe some band has to do that. I feel like that would be like the ultimate like troll is like you write like an album exactly the same way, but you change one thing and you release that version. Everybody's like, yo, this is terrible. I have to
Yeah.
then like, but in the back seat, you already have like the better mix and master version. So then you just go and you're like, oh, we got all of you because actually this isn't the version of the album. Then you like lift the mask off and you're like, this is the actual version of the album. Y'all got memed. Okay.
That's
See yourself
actually
out.
that's actually such a good April Fool's marketing like scheme.
I'm giving all of this shit's for free, guys. I just want to let you know I'm giving away the tools to the kingdom right now for free.
Yeah.
So
We love it. I think you're probably gonna have to be our new manager, I reckon, for Evergreener. Yeah.
I got you. I'll do it. I got them. We'll do it. We got all the ideas on tap. I'm gonna cut out this specific part of the interview so Evergreener can only use it. It's copyrighted. Brandon's seal of approval on it, you know? So don't steal it. If I see you guys steal this idea and Evergreener doesn't do it first, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. Like, you know, a disappointed dad. I'm going to be like, not happy. But the last question I have for you, Matt, is my personal favorite question. I always end off all of my interviews with this. I've been interviewing bands for over 7 years of my life now, which is pretty wild to think about. But I'm really passionate about it. I love talking to new musicians. And guys, if you haven't checked out Evergreener, links below, baby. Go show them some love. Seriously, another fantastic Australian band. I don't know what you guys do over there. I don't know what type of water you drink. I don't know what type of food you fucking eat. But something about Australia can't be topped. You can tweet me on that, quote me, whatever. I don't care. I know that's fact. But I wanted to know, Matt, why is music important to you? Because I often find that my relation to music and musicians is like my willingness or understanding of why they do it. Like, I feel like I become more invested, like why it's important to them, why do they talk about maybe more difficult things in their life. Why is this an outlet to you, and why do you consider it a passion project?
I think you pretty much just summed it up really, really well. Like I'm a teacher and I actually teach music. So
Oh,
like
very
this is
sick.
yeah, so like I tell a lot of my students, like particularly because I teach within like the middle school sort of um that age range, and like a lot of them are sort of discovering music, but also some of them might not necessarily be interested. And I just tell them like, look, it's an outlet for you. It's just like how sport might be an outlet or how dancing might be an outlet, something. It's just a way for you to like discover and explore and experiment yourself without any sort of rules behind it. So once you know the basics of what to do and maybe how to play an instrument, there's no limit to what you can do. You can make that instrument sound like a completely other instrument or complete other sound. Like it's whatever you want it to be. So there's complete artistic freedom there. And that's what I like so much about like being in a band and just making music myself. Like I might typically follow like maybe a pop punk or
Sure, yeah.
a alt rock sort of like style or a structure of a song or something like that, but I'm still completely free to do whatever I want within my band. And I love that. That's what I like aspire to be like. And even if that means that I have one person or 1,000 people listening to me, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. So that's why I love like playing music. And ever since I started, it was just like I get to do what I want. I get to be in a cool band. I enjoy doing this. I don't care if anyone else likes it, if it's popular, if it's doesn't bother me. I'm just happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to live. I think it's also, very commendable that you're teaching, Australians youth about music. That's really sick and also very commendable. So, got to give you the kudos on that as well. But I think for me, it's like, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I think you guys come across as like a very like honest and true, like, obviously truthful enough. You can't be 100% truthful, I feel like, in some degrees. Otherwise, then you're just like airing out dirty laundry. But
Yeah.
I find that you guys have a really cool relatability to your music, and I would say that for people who aren't are checking out Evergreener for the first time, I really do find that you'll get a lot of investment in this band if you really kind of take the time to listen to lyricism, take the opportunity to watch the music videos, and really delve into their catalog, because I had the really great pleasure of listening to all of it before I had Matt on today, and I would highly recommend doing it if you are a new fan and you just wind up checking this interview out and you're like, I don't know who this Matt guy is, but I'm gonna check his band out, because they may or may not be your new favorite band. So I think they're definitely amongst my new favorites that I found out about more recently. So definitely go show them some love. But I am going to pass the floor off to Matt. Matt, tell them where they can find Evergreener at, what you guys have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you would like to plug about your band.
For sure. I mean, everyone can find us on Instagram at evergreener_AU. I'm pretty sure that's like our TikTok as well. Like if you search up Evergreener on YouTube, you'll find all of our music videos, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're on Spotify or on Apple Music, all that stuff. We've got a show coming up tonight, a couple of shows coming up at the end of the year. We've got some more music that we're going to release hopefully by the end of this year, potentially earlier. We'll see what happens, but exciting. It's definitely I like to say, our best material yet. We're going to play it tonight. So we're going to play the new songs tonight, and yeah, it's just check us out everywhere, I guess. If you can search up something, we're most likely on it.
Well, you're not going to have to search very hard, so I'll leave all the applicable links down in the description. Please go sub to their YouTube channel. I feel like that channel deserves a lot more love, so make sure to go sub up if you are a YouTube fan. I mean, I feel like you have to be if you're watching it on YouTube, but you know, people watch podcasts on YouTube Music, which I found out all of these interviews are on YouTube Music if you live in the States. So if not, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get them on Spotify at some point. When you have 7 years worth of material to come through, it's a little bit more difficult to put stuff online. So maybe I'll do a poll and you tell me which ones you would like to see it thrown up. I'll definitely try to do at least this year's in terms of the interviews I've had on. But absolute pleasure having Matt on. Again, go show Evergreener some love. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subs before the year's over with. And, you know, I'm a little bit past 2,500. So, you know, if you can keep that train and that ball moving, I would be greatly appreciated. So thank you for watching, and huge thanks to Matt of Evergreener for coming on tonight.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.